Alright guys, so let's start putting the air rig back together. Now this is something that I'm not super familiar with. I've worked on it before, but it's not something I work on every day. So there will be probably some manual consultations and a little bit of umming for a lot of parts on here. I will not know the O-rings offhand, like what's what, but we're going to build it out best we can and make a nice little wall hanger out of her. So this is the main body. The video I originally had, I know I lost a little bit of disassembly, but we're basically disassembled right now. This comes apart a little more. Now let's make sure we place all the O-rings. We'll be conscious of feel them. That's like a snap gland almost. But one thing to keep in mind when I'm building with this, all of my grease, my oil and my grease are both synthetic. That's a big deal when you're working on any tank system, is to have synthetic grease, synthetic oil, because a petroleum-based grease will go boom. Basically, once you compress it, it will explode. So let's replace this ring. Let's see, I think it's a 60. We're gonna do 60. We're gonna do a 90 durometer. I'll force this guy on there. Come on, baby. Maybe not. It's a very hard ring to try to put on. Let me get the 70. This is fairly soft. I just want to replace that because it's the polyurethane. So a 70 durometer O-ring. Then we're going to get our grease. Make sure that's lubed up. I get a Q-tip to clean out in here. Just a few of them. So that's nice and clean. Get that back in there. We put it in the wrong, oh no, put it in the right way. This is our adjustment here, so this is that little screw you see sticking out the front. So this is what's adjusting the pressure on the piston. It's just adjusting the length of the piston. It's a really fairly clever idea, honestly. Alright. That's a 70 durometer. Looks like a 12 or a 13. It's not a 15. That's a 15. Let's roll down. This is a 12. Let me grab a 13 is here. It's a 14. Let me get some 14s that are 70 durometer. Now we're going to try something a little extra special. These are 14. This isn't a quad ring. It has an extra groove, so it's a quad ring plus. One extra, which makes it seal better. This is a pretty high pressure setup, so it's harder to move than a standard quad ring, but there's enough pressure in this that's going to allow it to move. So we're going to switch over to a quad ring to get that better dynamic range, hypothetically, if we ever use it. But we're using the one that works better for sealing high pressure. Now we should do the ball stack on here, or the shim stack. And it's there's 2 to each. So you do 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, 2 up, and two down. Oh boy. 2 up. So that's falling out. So if we're stacked together, I'm going to send it in. Come on. Oh. Make sure you're okay. So they were down, up, down, up, down, up. Come on. Come on. Take a better look at this, guys. This is where I lack experience with these. Let's see, that definitely isn't there. Doesn't really come up like that. Oh, shit. It's the opposite way. That's where I'm being stupid. So, that goes through. If I can fit that in. These stack up on this side. Like that. This is the retainer for it. Okay. It's supposed to be like there. So, that's the front side built, or the low pressure side. Let's work on the high pressure side here. This is the pin that goes through. It presses against the valve in there, or when this presses, it opens, and then it shuts that way. It shuts when it releases, when it pushes forward on that. So that is a super hard O-ring. Small too. Smaller than an 006, and it's 90 durometer. Let me see what I got. So I got an 004, that's 90. I think it wants to be an 005. Which, let me see what I have. So it's an 005. It's supposed to be a 90 durometer O-ring, 005. Come on. Kind of. It could be a metric. Let me see what I got in metric to see if I can replace this thing because it's a little tattered. Hold on, guys. Alright, my only option was I grid it on an 004 90 durometer O-ring. That fits absolutely tight. Didn't have a proper size, or I couldn't find one. These are probably 70 durometer. Nah, they're pretty. I'll compare them. Maybe they're 9s. Nope. 10s or 11s. Let me grab those. So we're going to replace them with quad rings. The special kind of quad rings. I wish I had one in a heavier durometer. But if this thing ever gets used, I don't think it's going to really get used that much. These are harder. They could be 70s. I'm not exactly sure. But they're 010s. All right. All right. So that is the high pressure side. That slips into here. Okay. And that should be further out. So that's built. I'm going to review the manual real quick because that shouldn't be this far out. I'll be right back. Alright, let's pull it back apart real quick. Maybe I shouldn't have went in from this way. Nope, that's hard anyway. Has nothing to do with this side. That was definitely pressed in. And it wasn't coming out. Maybe it was stuck. Okay, well, feel more confident about it now. Down a little bit. Alright, so the farther I bring this out, clearly the more that sits, kind of. Alright. So we have two rings here. They have to seal but they probably, the 08's smaller. Their 06's put some 90s in there. That might be an 08. Yep, that's an 08. I don't want to use a 50 though. Let me grab something heavier duty than a 50. We're going to use a 70 durometer. There. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely 70 durometer. Just feeling it. Yeah. Got two 0006s. We did 90 durometers to just be heavy. Probably don't need it. Probably easier to go lighter on them. Then we're doing a 70 durometer there, which is exactly what came off of it. Now we got to do this, which you are keyed specifically. So you go like that. If those 006s moved, this wouldn't clamp down fully. So it would definitely have daylight. They're too hard. I wasn't thinking about that, but it's definitely a side effect of doing it that way, doing the super hard O-rings. All right. So the mechanical side of this is back together. We put the low pressure side together first. We put the high pressure side together. Hindsight, would have liked a couple different O-rings, but it's together and it's as good as it's going to be. So mechanically, she's solid now. Now we got to work on the electrical side of it, putting that back together, which isn't too bad. The biggest thing is the two pressure transducers. Now these had an O-ring on them. I believe it's this O-ring, which is like a 9 or a 10. Forget what I grabbed. Let me see what I have. Oy. Apologize. I feel a little woozy. I had a COVID test. I had my COVID shot on Saturday. It's now Monday night, and definitely feeling a little bit now. I've been feeling it the whole time. Like my lymph node has exploded in my arm, or underneath my arm, my armpit. These were the originals. Maybe not. But my lymph node, it's so painful and so inflated. But besides that, I feel not bad. Little dumb today, I think. Let me find these. They got to fit in that little groove there. And they're just kind of a bumper to seal these. So the green is the high pressure, the blue is the low pressure, by the way. High pressure goes back towards the tank. Low pressure goes in the front there. It's definitely that size. Let me just figure out what that size is. What do I have on hand? Definitely close to this. This is a 10. Let me find some 10s. Maybe it's an 11. You got there. Nope. It's definitely a 10. We can use 50s for this. Just try to make sure we have a good seal. These are static. They're pressure transducers. So green, push that back. So this brass thing's just the cap. The transducer is actually this stainless steel piece inside here. Just want to make sure we don't try to catch it. We have a mark to go to. So we're lined up. Let me just make sure I'm tight. We're lined up with our mark we had left over from the initial install. Yeah, back to the COVID test. I feel okay, mostly. My hip started hurting again last night, which sucked. That was the first like body ache I got. My hips felt like I was gonna explode. Actually, they were gonna split in half. But my right hip was hurting again, which sucked. I have this problem with my right rib too, which that was acting up. So that was kind of a pain. But now I feel pretty alright besides my lymph nodes. My lymph nodes, I should say. Just making sure this is in. But we'll live. Right. Got some gunk in there. I'm sure if you needed to, you can calibrate these based on the dials. Let's put the blow off back together. Let's see. So you. Give it a little torque down. All right. So these are in. It's time for the main board now. So this, the battery sits here. This board sits here. There is this very WDP-like plastic cover, and there's 2 insulators. On the back of it, what screws did you have? These are these two. I'm going to say it's these two. I'm going to pop that on. That goes that way. Let's pop the insulator on. Are you on the front? Now you're definitely on the back. Screw can't touch anything on the front. Right. I think blue is in the middle. I'll double check this before I close it up though. And green was here. It would make sense that it goes that way just by what they have, like lengthwise, but I'll double check that. This is a 2 battery operation. They are CR2032s. And we got the Bezos specials. Bezos, whatever. Come on, Jeff. All right. Plus is up. Slips in there like that. Now I got to slip the board back on. Wait. Pain. Come on. So this doesn't want to stay in place. Now that's cleaned up. Pain in my ass. So they give you this little tab you gotta try to slip down. But it's kind of gymnastics to do. Put the board back on. All right. I'm not too worried because I have actually spare screens for these. So that's in. It's got 2 batteries in it. Why you no do anything? Let me grab a spare screen and see if it's just a screen or maybe something else is off. Be right back, guys. Meh. As I said that, the screen came on. It looks great. So, fuck me. Look at that. That's the only thing left. It would be to put that on. But we gotta glue some stuff back onto this. But she's back together. So, the tank rag is back together. Hallelujah. I'm going to double check my wiring positions just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure those are right. And the final step is going to be to try to glue some of these pieces back on this, just to try to make this a little better. Let's see what kind of glues I got. A little crushed. All right. Well, let's get a cleaner rag. Now let's start gluing some pieces. So this one is peeling up. So like I said, it's not going to look the prettiest, but it should function. right. I'm just using this piece of plastic just to try to wipe it smooth. All right. So that's stabilized. The top or the back part. Let's try to decide which side these are on. So that came off. The idea is I just want to make this thing serviceable without costing a lot of money trying to find a replacement. A little 20/20 look on it, you know? 20 feet away or 20 miles an hour, it'll look fine. But if it's hard set on it, you can still find these screens. They're not exactly easy to find or cost effective to find, but you can find them if you want. But this should hold it back together so it's gonna, you know, not fail. With this beautiful gun, that is my goal, is to just get her back together and make sure she's not going to fail. All right. Let's say this piece probably goes there. build what we can. Oh, use my finger. I mean, right now the glue is probably stronger than the actual plastic, but hey, that corner's back together. Would you look at that? A little rough on the edges, but okay. What else can we piece together? Are you there? You look about right. And there's another little sliver that goes in there, but I think that might be lost. Let's see. We'll just leave a lot of glue over there. So this side. No. Do you fit up here? Well, kinda. This might actually be the sliver that goes in there. But that means you are probably part of this ring somewhere. Yeah, like that. And that's about everything I have left. I don't know where that little piece would go. Well, we got most of it back together. Sort of. I'd say it's about as good as I can make it. All right. So perfect. can never tell. I didn't make this particular hole though around is. Oh, there it goes. Gentle. Do not over tighten these. Let me stress that. That could look worse. Could be broken in half. All right. Sometimes it wants to shoot, sometimes it doesn't. But she is back together. Oh. The final. That is not the right bolt for that. You are. Let's put the big one in. All right, we finished building all of the pieces. I feel like you're hitting, and you shouldn't be, and that's bothering me. Damn it. This is when it unravels here. Held together. Okay. For you. It's supposed to be there. Trying to see it. I feel like I'm hitting the button constantly. I don't want to try to take this part out. Oh my God. Don't do that ever. Let's make sure. Okay. Dear. Patient with that corner. That's a good corner. Okay. And that's really not aiming perfectly. Which might explain these scratches, because someone was dicking at this before. See, the board's kind of aimed that way. I'm going to shorten this up a touch. Give me a little more chance. Bang. Alright, so through time, this button sunk in a little bit. I just need to be shortened up a little bit. Perfect. I'm happy with something, at least on this. That was painful, but she's together. She'll be a nice little wall hanger. That should function, technically. It's rebuilt, it's refreshed. The screen is It's not a shining example of one of these, but if you really wanted to, it would work. These regs were cool, but I don't know, the old tanks. Feels like you need an old lock sock and an old tank with two lesbians kissing on it, or else it's just not right. But she works. That's an extra from the marker. Alright guys, that was the last part of this. The last thing had to be assembled. We will shoot the markers. That came with this incredible bad boy here, with the chain frame and the tattooed barbed wire. What a beautiful thing that is. I actually have two of them myself. I showed you one of them. Let me show you the other one. I'll show you the other one I have. That's the other very bad 90s tattoo. But this one is just epic. Oh my. Alright guys, this is Andrew Flory PB. We are assembled on the Angels. Let's see what happens when we try to actually test fire them. Hopefully that's tomorrow. Alright guys, that's it for now. I'm sorry this one was so painful. I do not work on Angel regs or Angel Air regs very often. I haven't worked on one of these in years actually. But it was fun going through it again and just doing a little thing just to get it together. It'll hold together. It will work if you need it to, but I suggest just using a regular tank. All right, guys, that's it for now. See you.